Welcome all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture. My name is Maria Kądzielska and I'm your host for tonight. Here with us in the Royal Castle is Paweł Figurski, historian and theologist. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me here.
We are talking about the exhibition which is currently in the Royal Castle called The Masterpieces of Vatican, devoted to pieces of art which are connected somehow to John Paul II. My question is, what was John Paul II's approach to artists and his message also to people, to creators?
He very much appreciated all kind of artists. He, in his letter to the artists issued in 1999, even invoked the well-known quote of the Polish poet Norwid, that the beauty is for amusement, for work, work for resurrection. So he, as an integral man, perceived the vocation of an artist as a quasi-theological vocation to manifest the beauty embedded in the creation. He very much, with his deeds as the Pope, appreciated the role of an artist. He beatified in 1982 Fra Angelico, one of the most refined painters of the 15th century. He made Fra Angelico the patron of the artist, showing his example of art or of creativity as the model for contemporary culture, for he believed that the culture is essential for the transformation of the world. Not only the transformation to make it more human in our secular sense, but also to kind of bring kingdom of God here on earth, or at least to strive or made it possible for God to manifest God's kingdom on the earth.
So we can even say underlying theologian aspect of being an artist, of creating. So not only as amusement, not only as a play or part of game, as an element of, I would say, in poetry or in art, but as a vocation given from God.
It's a vocation and a task. This is also evident in his conception of being an artist, which he kind of, to a certain sense, thought of himself, maybe not as a fully, obviously professional artist, but he comes back here and there in his speeches to his experience as an artist when he was younger. And obviously in the theology of John Paul II, every virtue, every gift is given not only for
development, but also for
but
people.
It's also a task that should bring forward humanity and the identity of an artist himself or herself.
John Paul II, as a pope, at the head of a church and also a person known internationally, was very much rooted and deep-rooted in Polish culture, especially in Polish romanticism, since he was a son of Krakow. So which part of this culture and this aspect, which is still difficult and unknown in the world, because Mickiewicz, Słowacki, Norwid are not that recognizable in the world as Goethe or Lord Byron. Which aspects and part of it he brought for and into the international audience?
One of the contemporary authors, Paweł Rojek, claims that actually the Polish Romanticism formed John Paul II's theology in such a deep way that this was the main Polish contribution to the universal church, to also theology, and one could say also intellectual currents. This is a very rightly mentioned, overlooked issue. Obviously, there are many facets of Polish Romanticism that formed John Paul II and that he later subsequently brought to the universal church. One of the vision is to link the community, be it national or state level, with the church, as if the community was subsumed by the church or Christianized. What is also important is the universal aspect of this Christian heritage for the Polish culture. That's why John Paul II very often mentioned that you cannot understand the history of Poland without Christ. Because Christ, for John Paul II, was not this religious figure, but an example of a full, perfect man and full and perfect God, an image to which every human being is called to participate in its fullness.
We can see that the thoughts of John Paul II were really very deep, also in a theological and artistic way. He knew so many aspects. So to all of you who want to learn and understand a little bit more, we encourage you very much to read the encyclics, read the letter of John Paul II to the artist, and listen to his speeches, because as you can see, it's not an easy theory which we can put in one sentence. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.